don't want to pair Clockwork with Ursa, just in case they were going to go for the offlane fire.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Really difficult.
We could continue talking about this draft for a very long time.
There's a lot to talk about.
It's an exciting draft.
A lot to talk about here.
It's going to be much more exciting to see the game played out. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to watch it together with Cap and Kyle.
I think I'll do.
Yes, we are. We just got to watch LGD manage to take down TNC pretty dominantly, I have to say. They're looking very fine. In fact, they were Curtis's, for him anyway, group stage. He feels like they're actually the best team right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. I think they've played pretty much lights out. It's between them and Nigma for me. I think that both squads have the potential to win the tournament, let alone the group stage. And there's a big proving ground, I think, for EG because they've been kind of hit or miss. You know, they won both series yesterday, and sure, they're qualified for TI, but I just, you know, they were second at the last major, and I don't really get those same vibes. Like, oh yeah, this is a dominant team. Yeah. This is a fantastic team playing Dota 2. They're great, don't get me wrong, but definitive top 3, yet to prove it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It feels like LGD, you know, similar dynamic here is Vici Gaming versus Nigma. I feel like, despite the fact that Vici Gaming came out on first, I feel like Nigma is the one building up more steam, as an example. Yeah. So, yeah, LGD, definitely a tough team to take down, but Evil Geniuses did manage to do it the last time they met at the Singapore Major. This was our upper bracket finals.
Yeah. And they've definitely found a script. Yesterday, they first 2'd Ice's hero every single game. They've been pushing to last pick Arteezy's hero almost every time they have overall last pick. So, you know, very Bulbous style of drafting is to just sort of find that order and master it, right? And always have a choose your own adventure or flow chart created based on what your opponents do in response. So I like the Batrider. I think this is going to be the hero to watch. Agreed with the panel that maybe not the best answers to the hero on the side of PSG.LGD, but the Omni Knight is interesting just because it is a cleanse and you can remove the lasso. So it's not that be-all, end-all solo kill.
Yeah, I think another interesting note is the fact that Evil Geniuses, they went for the offlane Dragonite, which just last series was the first time we got to see someone other than Nigma at this tournament play offlane Dragonite. They obviously did it for Faith Beyond in Game 1, and now we're seeing Evil Geniuses take that option away from LGD and use it themselves. Feels like people are definitely taking a bit of what Nigma is doing successfully in both the wildcard and the group stage and trying to adapt it for themselves.
Yeah. It feels like right now, your offlaner has to get things done. And Mars, probably just the best in patch. People have tried to replace him with other styles of hero, like Tidehunter as an example was being looked at, but DK just kind of makes a lot more sense. Short cooldown stun, an ultimate that provides a bit of team fighting, and in DK's case, maybe you trade off some of that team fight, but you get the ability to scale and also deal a bunch of building damage early on in the game. Just a lot easier to play around. You know, a DK level 6 is like, okay, I'm running into this lane. The same way a Mars gives you that power. I don't really think that, you know, Tide, even Centaur, really offer that same offensive threat.
We saw the Xin went ahead and grabbed the creep wave. So if you're wondering what's happening here in this whole battle, why is Faith Beyond by himself? He managed to pull a creep wave all the way back between the tier 2 and tier 3s and fly instead of pursuing and trying to share in this support farm. Instead, it is focused on zoning out Faith Beyond. So,
but still, it's an entire creep wave denied. It's a really well done pull there by Xin. I love how certain mechanics, like they weren't used to quote Owie back in the boomer era of Dota, but then somebody figures something out and people realize, hey, that's a cool mechanic, and now it just becomes meta. The other one was like cutting creep waves, you know. Used to be you'd go chase the creep wave and find it where it meets, whereas nowadays, as soon as you have the opportunity, you'll see carries playing behind tier 2s just for efficiency's sake.
Yeah, such a simple way to think ever so slightly outside of the box, and it just makes a huge impact across the Dota community.
That's another example, Abed, getting double creep. What is Mag just going off to stack? This is interesting. I think they prefer Mag on the Dire side just because it's easier to both farm and get a bunch of double stacks. Like, you're gonna see, will he Q? Okay, I thought he would Q to the low ground. He's actually just gonna farm it out, but I think we were talking, it was the previous match, Nothing to Say. Top MMR in the world.
Oh yeah,
He's very
incredible. That guy is really, really good, and we saw at the very start Fly trying to do a little something to limit his farm by blocking the easy camp with an early sentry. Fly getting in their face with a Satyr, just nuking crit over and over again. Not much he can do about the Dragonite though.
It's all going to be about tempo for PSG.LGD. Ursa with the defusal can just start running at enemies. The concern for EG is if you look at their damage output, it feels like the supports actually are going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. This has been a concept they've used historically as well. You know, Lina Phoenix provide a ton of magical damage throughout engagement, but Medusa, DK, and Bat all need a lot of levels. DK and Medusa need a lot of items as well, so I don't really expect them to take any fights that they try to start until much later in the game, and they're playing against a mag lineup, so
yeah,
you know that PSG.LGD are going to accelerate.
This looks to be a very farm-heavy game.
Yes.
Like, nothing to say isn't playing the lane half the time and instead farming up some stacks. We see the triangle super stacked, Medusas on the side of EG, so eventually I'm going to expect these Ancients to be stacked up as well. But currently they're trying to pressure Ame as much as possible whenever Y is away, and almost got the kill there. First blood still lying unclaimed.
It's an interesting build that he went for, just straight up rushing the Morbid Mask. It's not bad, but I don't know if I like it too much when you consider you're playing into a double stun lane.
Yep.
So it's not as if you're free to just trade with Ice. You're going to tank a stun and then a Lina stun, and as you've seen, he's very easily pressured off the creep wave.
I was literally looking at this lane in comparison to like the Centaur Lina lane, and there is something to note that they actually haven't killed. That's going to be first blood for Ice. You're right, this Morbid Mass is just not working out. Jin-Q is going to show up though and probably even out the kill score. He's going to go for crit here. Crit hoping to be able to land the LSA. Actually misses. Jin-Q was able to dodge to the side at the same time. Crit popping the Fairy Fire is still alive. Can he hide away in the side here and TP out? It's looking good for him. 2 seconds, he's away. No kill for LGD here.
Yeah, I mean, click on Ice, right? Yeah, see? Bracer, Glove of Haste. That's a lot of stat. That's a pretty nice damage advantage. Ursa, yeah, you trade, but Ame, as you can see, he's just going to die. So
yeah,
would have really preferred to have some stats. Now it's just casual boots. But if he takes more pressure up here, I think they actually have to keep the clock, because otherwise I think he's just going to get owned.
Yeah.
They're going to come back full mana on the Lina. DK still fully supplied on HP.
Comparing the Centaur Lina lane, which I think we watched in one of these games, the Centaur starts off with hardly any armor, right? So he does more magic damage, but he can't trade as well with the Ursa. Here we're seeing this Dragonite, who obviously one of his passives is just that huge bonus of armor that he gets. The Ursa can actually feel good about trading.
It's probably the matchup that's most affected by the nerfs to the reset time on Fury Swipes.
Oh, yeah.
Because DK, you're only really ever threatened because of how much plus armor you have if you get up to like a ridiculous number of stacks. You know,
sure.
If you have plus 10, suddenly that's... I gotta back off real quick, but now instead of having to wait for 20 seconds, it's just 8 at level 1, now 12 because the level 2.
Wow, they nerfed it a lot.
Yeah, it used to be really annoying to deal with. But tons of natural regen, and I think your point's correct. Because remember, Centaur also hurts himself when he double edges. So yeah, it's threat, but it's this idea of laning against Ursa. Monkey King, same concept. You have to be stronger than them in the lane, because if not, you get zoned off creep waves and you're susceptible to being killed.
Yeah. You have to be able to, it's like when facing like a brown bear or some other one of those kind of predators. You just got to bulk up as much as possible.
No. Other way.
He needs to be backing down first.
Bear's brown, lay down. Bear's black, fight back.
Oh, right. Black bear.
Yes.
Sorry.
And then polar bears.
Dead.
Yes. I think it's good night. Yeah, bear's white, good night.
What a helpful rhyme.
Yeah. One of the only hyper carnivores in the world. There's not many.
Fly's going to come up to this top lane because they still have the Siege Wagon in play. You could see Ice is taking the tower to be able to keep the Siege Wagon up. Now he's got his level 6, immediately pops Dragon Form, so this is going to be a tower that dies. LGD are just going to have to accept that, it seems.
Yep, another benefit of the DK, right? You can hit level 6, start hitting tower, and you also get to tank it. I think this is the right build. MC pretty much showed everybody how it was done in the wild card. You max out your passive, then stun, and you just play this really tanky initiator style and make yourself a target almost at all times, both in the early game and throughout the team fights. And you were onto it. 8 minutes in, we have 1 kill, and I look around the map and I see everybody farming the jungle.
Yep. The 77 CS and 7 denies for nothing to say. What a lucky number he's at. Better stop there. But he's not. He's going to farm up Ancients and work towards that Blink Dagger. Do you feel like EG has changed their playstyle much since the Singapore Major? It's kind of feeling the same to me. Very lane-dominant focus as they're going to challenge PSG.LGD to a fight down here. The Dragon Form wears out, starting to get planked by the Battery Assault. Ice even willing to perhaps turn around, but the Ursa is here. Ice cannot fight into that, especially when they put the Heavenly Grace on this Ursa. Nice LSA, and Dice is going to be surviving here. Once again. Oh, why, Ice? Why?
Well played by Faith Beyond to spot that, but that was just a little cocky from Ice.
That was so greedy. You son of a bitch, you deserved that.
No, PSG.LGD, they finally get on the board. It only took 9 minutes. But yeah, I mean, you ask about EG's playstyle. I honestly don't feel like they've changed much since, like, TI8.
Okay, sure.
It still feels like, at the end of the day, you know, you've got Arteezy, and a lot of the time their lineups are engineered to help him succeed. I think this is... They killed the flying. How did he go down? Did he leap or swoop to? Yeah,
he might have got flanked by Battery Assault as he attempted to go for an Icarus dive, and he ends up dying. Now, I guess they did do an Alchemist draft, but I remember they had that safe lane Razor in the first game against LGD. I'm looking at the draft now, but Viper, Puck, Razor, right? Like, what a leaning focus draft that is. And I feel like DK, Batrider, Lina, like, that's a similar vein of thought.
Yeah, I can see it. It makes sense too in the patch right now. Feels like if you get that early tower lead, and take a laning advantage, it's just easier to play. Especially when you have stuns. Of course, EG have quite a few. I think
Dire's middle tower
gets it. Faith Beyond managed to deny the mid tower. The unfortunate part for them is they do give up their mid tower.
Yep.
It's 10 minutes in.
Another thing EG's done that I like at PSG.LGD, the same story. They always have a way to farm Ancients. It feels like you can end up, especially in a farm-heavy game like this, very limited if you don't have somebody that can take Ancient stacks, or at least clear them on spawn.
That was something that AUI and I were talking about from last game. The fact that TNC lacked a way to be able to do Ancient stacks or fly. Oh, nice job by XinQ drawing the aggro onto himself from Roshan. They didn't have a way to clear Ancient stacks or do Roshan.
Yep.
And it feels like both are a requirement for this current meta.
I haven't checked since they changed certain gold bounties, but it used to be that until the extra creep wave or creep started spawning, Ancients were the most efficient usage of time and damage per gold bounty.
Yep.
I believe waves are close, and then when you start getting the extra creep spawns, they become even more valuable, which is another reason I think these high mobility bots heroes are coming back, because after 30 minutes, if you can just clear side lanes quickly, it's ridiculous amount of gold, especially because it also scales up with time now.
Which is in part why it's so important to, for some lineups, try and take control of the map as soon as possible. Arteezy needs to try and help fly here. XinQ is okay.
Calculated.
Calculated indeed. XinQ used the hook shot to get away.
The one downside though, you know, Abed now with the bots build, also casual windlace and the brooch, so about as fast as you can get. As you was saying, you don't want to play this support duo against Batrider pretty much ever, so they can't deal with him, and they're going to need to be in range of the Omni Knight to feel secure. So look for Abed to start positioning himself a bit more offensively. Looks like he's going to bottle the Invis rune. Probably look to get aggressive. Ursa closing in on the defusal.
Now, yeah, despite the early towers being taken, LGD has kept the net worth chart even because of the way of how efficient they are farming. Both the Empower, the Ursa, hitting Ancients, fly.
Oh no.
He's I think he tried to trick him out there. They're going to assume he flew to the left here, but that's not actually the case. Hopefully he doesn't show himself. Yeah, he's good. He might just be able to find... No. Not going to risk it. I was going to say, stay here, get a little bit more experience, but no.
That's the right move. He's just trying to get level 6. Fly very under-leveled, but this is what we've seen, again, for what feels like a couple of years since he even came onto the team. Fly, one of the more sacrificial style of 5 players. And oftentimes, his XP lags significantly behind the rest of his team.
Nice catch by Q. They're going to be able to kill Crit here unless Ice can do something about it. He's going to go ahead and stun up the Omni Knight before the Purification nuke could come in. Faith Beyond gets burned down. Q is unable to do much else either. They both die in their attempt and success in killing the Lina. But it's going to cost them 3 heroes. Oh, Y is also going to be chased down.
Yeah, I like what he has. You see, the Purge Creep was what he was playing with. Very effective against Bat. You can always be removing the stacks. But this is when I think maybe you'd expect PSG.LGD to come online a bit faster, but EG looking to take control. They have the Blink Dagger up, choosing to go the Breathe Fire instead of the Stun, perhaps just for the extra bit of damage boost. MC exclusively maxing Stun first, so be curious to see the reasoning behind both players.
Maybe it comes back to wave clear as well,
True.
like you were talking about before. Abed not going to be able to get nothing to say. Nice blink reaction by him.
Yeah, very close game. I don't know. It's. Do we see much mid-mag? Another hook.
Another long-range hook. This one with the Purification nuke, again, killing Crit.
That's the item. A recipe away. Oh, nice TP in. Is there anyone else here?
Nice use of the glyph, yes, but...
Okay. Just want the arcane.
Apparently that was all for an arcane run.
Mid players, especially from NA. I remember before they changed the initial glyph, it was exclusively used on the first wave in every single North American pub.
Yeah.
And God forbid you did it in the side lane cap. Oh, Quinn would... He's going hard on Twitter immediately. Couldn't stop him.
Manta almost done for RTZ, it looks like. How do you feel about the later game matchup here? Because Ursa is one of the better heroes against Medusa because of the buildup of damage that you have. And then he's also got an Omni Knight with him. Diffuser Blade also being very meta right now. You okay with the slower pace for LGD?
I don't really think so, to be honest.
Okay. Fine Faith Beyond here. They immediately drop a Supernova. They need to be able to land an LSA on him to be able to keep him in range, but they can't quite get there. Ice continues to chase, but ultimately it's a failed play here for Evil Geniuses.
I just don't know if you can out-carry Dusa here. That's the problem.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to see a Scotty, and it's going to get really difficult to ever get on top of RTZ when you're playing into multiple stuns, the lasso, the egg. There's going to be too much team fight to deal with from EG. Meanwhile, PSG.LGD, all of their damage is like they're magging Ursa. Hang on.
Straight up, one-man RP, but it's on a big kill. Abed has been running around the map totally free, and they finally punish that.
If they can get into Roche, that would be huge. This is when the draft has to go. The diffuse is up. All right, it's go time. This is it. 60 minutes in, and yeah, I expect them to just pressure and force the Roche. The downside is that gank top that failed, now there's no egg. Much harder for EG to contest in the pit. They're going to try, however.
Paint around it. RTZ on the front lines here, trying to get the information, ready to go with the Stone Gaze once Roshan gets low enough. Really nice snake. They actually do manage to get a decent hook shot over there. They managed to finish off the Roshan without RTZ going inside the pit there. They're going to go ahead and drop Heaven the Grace and whatever else they have to make sure the team fight is fine for them. Evil Geniuses don't really have that much damage until Abed gets here. Maybe with a pullback here, the Heaven the Grace status resistance is not enough to be able to save nothing to save his life. That being said, LGD can still be happy if they get everyone else out alive, but Evil Geniuses has really good pursuit as now they're going to turn on to Ice. Some pure damage from the Enchantress, helping to bring down that tanky Dragonite. Ame and his first life is going to fall here. RTZ needs to get out though. Fortunately, with no hook shot anymore, don't think they have enough catch. And looks like probably both sides are just going to back off, lick their wounds, and continue to farm.
All right, so 1 for 1, but the Age is burned. 2 for 2 technically. Abed did die to start the engagement. That was a pick off. Altogether, I'd say pretty even. All said and done. No egg would have really helped EG when PSG.LGD tried to go up high ground, but I don't know if they expected the Medusa, but the GA is actually a really cool answer to the Stone Gaze. You saw it come out basically once RTZ popped it. It deals with the bonus physical damage quite well, but more importantly, it allows you to keep committing even into Stone Gaze, not really fearing for any kind of turnaround. So no Dispel available for the side of EG, and no one's really capable of buying a Nullifier, so they're just going to have to deal with it. Yules, though, yeah, I was going to say, you talked to BSJ, the self-proclaimed Ursa expert. Yules is the hard counter.
We'll see how they're able to use that. I mean, especially against an Omni Knight as well, right? Rules and that dispel. Oh, nice two-man RP from nothing to say. A big opening. They kill the Phoenix first because they know otherwise he's going to dive away. And then they turn to finish off Ice, and then probably hit this mid tower.
Yeah, they're playing with the Centaur there too. Really cool concept. Just RP skewer back, double stun on top. Don't need the Aegis. This is still the time to go. You've got to take Medusa's towers, force Arteezy off of the triangle.
So the next 10-15 minutes, this is when LGD is really going to maybe end the game, but more likely just take a big enough lead that they're comfortable going later.
Yep. Top tower is under attack.
Because they also want to play as they are, you know, kind of moving across the map in semi-unison, because otherwise you just give EG opportunities to find pickoffs. They have a ton of burst damage with crit, who can then follow up on either Abed or Ice's initiation. So they'd like to find pickoffs more so than team fights right now.
They spot the ward. It's not going to last there for long. The Batrider, Abed, getting his initiation of Firefly onto Faith Beyond. They're going to chain up that stun with a nice Dragon Tail. Abed is going to have to hit the egg here. He might be able to kill it. The Stone Gaze is not going to be able to petrify him in time. The egg falls, but Ame is certainly in trouble. He's going to try and hop himself away, but Ice does have that Blink Dagger. He has the Dragon form. He's going to be able to catch up to him, and Abed is even there for the extra damage. It's not needed though. Arteezy claims the double kill.
Nice find there by Abed. PSG.LGD a little sloppy. There was nothing to say. He was off farming somewhere, trying to keep up in net worth with the Medusa. And that's the way EG want to take fights. Get a lasso on the key hero. They picked off the Omni Knight before he could really get anything done. And they buy some more time. The one thing is, though, later on in the game, this is very much a single core from EG. You can already see it reflected in the net worth. It's Arteezy versus the world. PSG.LGD, they will have two heroes that are pretty significant threats. Nothing to say on the mag. You don't really see this as often mid, but it is an insane hero later on in the game. Probably be the person that buys AC for his team, but I've seen some really cool builds with Bloodthorn, with Daedalus later on in the game. The Echo Saber style is nuts, and it will be BKB just after. So once he scoops that up, there's really nothing for him to fear on the side of EG. The one downside of the draft is that at the moment, they are heavily reliant on their magical damage, specifically the supports.
Yeah. You add in Heavenly Grace, which also gives you more damage because it gives you bonus strength as well. This mag can, certainly turn into a real right-click threat.
And that's the thing, I am actually starting to get a little worried for EG just because of their damage output later on in the game. Medusa is a threat, sure, but they're going to have a lot of tools to answer, notably the GA. So already, the main tool for our EG to take a fight is like, okay, we're going to egg, we're going to Stone Gaze to protect it. But at PSG.LGD, if they just pop GA, they keep fighting. They can ignore it completely. And if you remove Lasso, suddenly Abed's hero looks really weak.
Look at how they wrapped all the way around. They four-man smoked, and at the same time, LGD did a scan on the entrance of their triangle. I think that was them. Maybe it was EG. Either way, EG wrapping around all the way to try and find an opening, but all of LGD's here, and now the Batrider's in trouble. Abed's going to get pushed back by the Cogs into the rest of LGD, and now there's blood in the water. Crit, he's probably going to be the one extra hero that dies here. Tries to line up an LSA, but nothing to say. You can see he is able to beat those supports to a pulp pretty quickly.
I think EG just realized, like, I don't know if we can actually do this, guys. Arteezy's getting closer to a butterfly, but I have become more concerned over the last couple of minutes because PSG.LGD, their team fight right now is just too good.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's so much easier for them to take fights, whereas EG, you basically need a lasso or a DK to get a clean initiation on a target that doesn't have any allies nearby. Because if you don't find specifically the Omni Knight, the lasso is going to get cleansed off. And you have to also keep in mind that Jinkyu, he's going to do what he just did there. Counter initiate, not look to like set up on the hero he goes for, but more just carve the fight out.
Sure.
Push two EG heroes towards his own squad and say, hey, everybody else, come for me, man. BKB on the Ursa, BKB on the mag. It's go time.
They're going to smoke with this big power spike. At the same time, Arteezy is complete with his butterfly. They're actually going to jump onto the Magnus here. Ice wants a piece of this, but PSG.LGD, they're all here in force, and Ice realizing that this was not a good idea. Trying to go for the RP. They do manage to hit the Medusa and burn him out of mana, so he's not going to be able to get off the Stone Gates. Oh, actually, managed to pop the wand, gets off the Stone Gates as a result. Immediately, they do have it to have the grace, and Arteezy is going to have to just TP out rather than continue fighting. The rest of EG, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, well played. That EG could have lost a lot more there. They did not recognize that the The whole squad was in waiting. And again, the BKBs, you saw moment Stone Gaze was used, GA. Look for that to be the answer as this game progresses. And now it's all about EG just stalling the game out. I'm not sure how much to believe in Medusa. EG certainly do. They've been picking it all throughout the DPC season as well. For a while, it was getting first two'd over in NA. We saw it pick up in Eastern Europe as well, the regions we were covering, Cap.
Yeah. It's definitely proved to be overpowered. And then they nerfed it.
Yep.
Now you no longer have that big level 15 timing that people were buying Aghanim Scepter for. But now, Medusa's, again, it's that weird nerf thing. Well, I can't play it that way, but the hero's still good, you know? And so now it's just like, okay, I'm not going to mess around with this whole Aghanim Scepter thing. I'm just going to build carry items.
Yeah, the evasion came in clutch there, because otherwise I think Arteezy is 100% just dead. And yeah, you can even see, you wouldn't, took the evasion talent too. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's why he survives. So that's why the Stone Gaze gets off, because you combine that with the 35% from Butterfly. I mean, that's nearly half the hits. It's stacks not additively, by the way, viewers at home. I do know 35 plus 15 is 50. Doesn't work that way. See, 45%.
Well done, Kyle.
Either way, now you have to be thinking about MKBs on the Dire lineup. I'd expect Ursa to probably grab one immediately. Maybe nothing to say as well, because otherwise you will have difficulties burning through Arteezy.
Nothing to say. He literally blinks and pokes at Arteezy. Is he just trying to get a reaction to see what EG would do? It was interesting. Evil Geniuses have all pushed into the opponent's jungle now. LGD mirroring the map here. And who's going to blink first? I assume it's going to be LGD. After all, they want to be around the Roshan pit.
Indeed.
They re-smoke up, actually. Going again. This is the fight that determines who's going to be controlling the game for the next 10 minutes.
Great positioning from EG.
But they do have to come down from this high ground, it seems, as LGD are going to start hating Roshan. Does Evil Geniuses not know about this? They're so close to the pit, and they're waiting for LGD to crash into them, not knowing that this Roshan has been going on the entire time. They realize it now, but it's too late. The Shard and Age has already been picked up, and now LGD takes going for that high ground, and yeah, you can see it on with this extra life. He just barrels on in with his Blink Dagger, already killing Crit. Looking at Arteezy, decides, maybe I can go for something else here. Oh, a skewer up into the high ground. Arteezy's seen this one before. He's going to have to TP away. RP on everybody else. They're going to be able to get the Dragonite. Ice, and Fly, both sharing the same grave there as Abed. And Arteezy are going to be the only survivors of that fight.
That is a class on how to well, not strategy really, that's just straight up tactics. Completely outmaneuvered over the last 2 minutes. Incredibly well done. PSG.LGD, they recognize, okay, EG, they've established a position and vision on our own high ground, but we don't care. We just want the Roche. If EG want to fight us for this, they're going to have to pull themselves out of position and take us in a team fight that we're comfortable with, because we don't have to run up a high ground blind. We all know the nursery rhyme for every Dota player that they get taught when they're young and small, never to walk up high grounds without vision. So they don't do it. They just get Roche, free kill, Arteezy on the cliff, 10k gold lead.
Bit of a misnomer, it doesn't rhyme.
I'm not everyone can beat Lacoste. All of our strengths and weaknesses.
Fair enough. And yours is wisdom. It's come with so much age and Oh, Lotusaur! Great catch! That's going to ensure that that lasso doesn't feel good at all for Abed. Now, Shinkyu in his attempt to be able to help out almost dies, but actually gets saved by the purification. At the same time, Abed does manage to make it down to the low ground just in time. A nice two-man LSA that also catching...
Oh, no, not again!
No, not again! Arteezy on the high ground, a supernova right next to him, but they're all going to walk away from him. Arteezy is going to TP to the tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. The rest of the Evil Geniuses are going to start backing away, retreating to where Arteezy is now. Ice needs some help. They've got the Sunrunner trying to mount again and again. Nothing to say. He puts him up there. Oh, Arteezy gets back down. Abed managed to force tap him up, but at the same time, this is really where Arteezy wants to be, as the Ursa is laying into him as much as damage, building up that Fury Swipe's damage. Abed, he's trying to get him away from Arteezy, get away from my Medusa, but he can't. There's nothing that either this Phoenix or this Batrider can do.
That is absolutely unbelievable. The tips come out. Yeah, everybody. This guy, nothing to say. Somebody stop him. He's trying to win a game of Dota for style points.
Look at Faith Beyond literally took the extra 3 seconds to replant this sticker. This is a mental assault that LGD is waging on evil geniuses and Arteezy in particular.
Man, I guess they learned their lesson from Ollie, the last major. This, you can't beat EG on the battlefield. You've got to try to break their minds.
Yeah, get into their head.
How many cliffs will Arteezy need to walk down from before this game ends? At this point, PSG.LGD, they're in total control. Ursa still in spitting distance of the Medusa's net worth, but more importantly, look at nothing to say on the mag. Like an absolute unit.
Radiant's middle
AC,
tower has fallen.
Yep, the Bloodthorn will be the next purchase. Makes a lot of sense in this context because you don't really want the MKB. However, Bloodthorn kind of does it but better. And if you just RP Bloodthorn, there's no Manta, there's no BKB potential from Arteezy. He just dies to Ursa because of the built-in crit.
So I always feel like when you get Scotty on Medusa, it is a certain kind of power spike. Will that be enough for this Medusa lineup to now be stronger in team fights, or do you think LGD, they had the advantage until win?
Well, it's just, I don't know if they deal enough damage. I don't know how you're going to keep PSG.LGD off of Arteezy.
Yeah.
Consider Abed mid, sure, but he should be compared to Faith Beyond, right, in the net worth. Then the other source of damage EG have is Ice's DK. He's behind clock. Compare that to, Ursa or Meg, you pick. Either way, that's the damage differential, and that's the problem for EG.
Yeah, the big team fight that they have is this Supernova, but I think every single time they manage to walk away from it, we haven't seen that really good, Supernova into them attempting to go for the egg, and then they get stone gazed instead because of Arteezy's positioning. We haven't seen anything like that. LGD just always backs up when the egg goes down.
Yeah, they haven't really been forced to commit. That's kind of what's missing from the EG lineup. They're banking on this idea that, we were going to start a fight with Lasso. PSG.LGD, we're going to run in, we're going to have an egg down, and we're going to have all this chaos, and we'd win the fight, but they just don't have damage.
Yeah.
Clockwork, incredibly tanky.
Top tower has fallen.
Enchantress rocking a solar crest and a fluffy hat. BKB on the clock, by the way, so he's definitely not dying.
That's been a big play for a lot of these 4 positions. The early BKB pickup, seeing it from Earth Spirits. Oh, Abed. He got spotted by the flare. Smoke breaks, they know he's still here. They're using spider legs and everything. They have the hook shot, somehow missed.
Just a bit to the right.
Dire's middle tower
So
is under
close.
attack.
Either way, LGD still going to be very happy with the game state as they are up 13,000 net worth in a 20-9 score at 31 minutes in. And it's really looking like their lineup can rival a Medusa late game.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen this dual core versus single core a couple times so far throughout the wild card. I always feel like the dual core was winning. You could even see the main adaptation from Nigma was that suddenly they have 3 heroes all competing for upper net worth slots. Sure. I feel like part of the... Abed?
Scotty, look at us slow him down. Abed's going to be forced to use the lasso. It's not going to last super long, and Jin Q managed to stop the Batrider in his place. Ame continuing to hunt the squishier heroes here. He's going to look at Crit playing Ring Around the Rosie into the trees, but eventually he does fall down. Arteezy is up next to defuse a blade, slow him. They know Ice is not a threat whatsoever. They can all focus on the Medusa. And what is Ice going to do? He breathes fire, gets a couple of hits in. That's all he can do. He's going to throw down the G. They didn't need that. And I think Faith Beyond knew they didn't need that. I feel like this is almost taunting EG.
Did you see nothing to say hesitate? You know what he was looking for, right?
That cliff.
He was like, am I in range? Like, not quite. If it was the old cliff,
tap,
might have had it. Not quite the distance. Perhaps he could pick up the, just to make it easier for himself.
LGD are geniuses. They're not playing just to win this game. They're playing to break evil geniuses, win this series, and put themselves in a big advantage to be able to win the whole tournament.
What was the old... if he had the old Aghanims, he would have made it to the new cliff. Or the old cliff with the new Ags, it would have been fine. Either way, just a clinic from PSG.LGD. This has been just really a treat to watch.
So looking back on it, what do you feel like Evil Geniuses did wrong drafting-wise? Or was it draft-wise?
Maybe with the bat, you can't also go for an initiator that lacks damage.
Yeah.
When I remember one of my favorite tri-cores, like what I consider the EG, back when they had Sumail and Fear, was AM Bat Brewmaster.
That was smooth.
Yeah.
That was smooth right there. Well done, Abed.
Yeah, if you have like a brew or some hero that's just unstoppable team fight, that allows you to commit for objectives, like, okay, we have the hero for pickoffs and we have a hero that can dominate a team fight. You know, maybe if it's a Mars, I'm really not sure. But maybe they just had to be more aggressive, right? Because ultimately, both teams for the first 15 minutes played their own game.
Yeah.
Both sides, farming Ancients, farming their items. It just feels like what Abed was able to get didn't do anything for EG. And it's not his fault, but you can't really find pickoffs in a game like this. Especially, you know, PSG.LGD, they've been effectively 5-manning since they took the first Roche. And I don't know. Just playing better?
It felt like Evil Geniuses can actually team fight them, and it all comes back down to lack of damage. I agree. I think it's a Batrider plus Dragonite cores with a Medusa specifically. Like maybe if you had an Ursa type carry that does output tons of damage, then it would be a little bit better. But
maybe a little bit of a steroid, right? Like instead of a bat, if this is an Invoker, which is what we've seen Nigma first doing, suddenly the draft, you know, they picked the greedy core for ILTW as well, the Void, etc. But he has Alacrity later in the game. You have damage to throw into the Chronosphere, or in this case, to support your Medusa with.
Yeah, I thought something we talked about last cast was the fact that when these guys are drafting the offlane Dragonite, they're doing it with 2 supports that output a lot of damage, right? In this case, Phoenix, Lina, tons of damage there, but sadly, half the fights, crits being run down by the Ursa, the Supernova doesn't feel that good.
And you also don't feel good as Arteezy. He's buying a Nullifier because they need one. He just got hit by 5 heroes. They said, oh, I guess we'll GA, and they have nothing to remove it at the moment. Yeah, the Yols, but that doesn't help you continue to pummel damage in. I feel like LG have gotten like the last 15 kills in this game. I swear it was even until the second
Can we take a look at a graph here just to see the... Yeah, it feels like it's very heavily dominated by...
Tower,
LG.
Sentry Ward. Sentry Ward. That's not a good sign.
Hey, they killed the Clockwork.
And some wards. So yeah, 1 kill since, say, 20 minutes in. Oh, man. All right.
Yeah,
it's been better.
Smoke up. PSG.LGD are going to make their entrance known. And Lina's going to have to force that away. Ice thought he was going to come in from behind and do something here, but instead he gets ripped apart. Is that a Bloodthorn or something?
Yeah,
My goodness, Fly. He's going to be able to get off the Supernova. Right is nothing to say. Was looking for that skewer on Arteezy. But again, Supernova goes off. They all cleanly retreat. So there's nothing else going on. Shin-Q is actually going to go back in with his BKB to be able to kill Crit. Crit also buying back now. They need it too. Arteezy's in trouble right now. They put the word on the high ground. Fly trying to Sunray himself away. That's not going to happen. The back line, DK actually jumping onto the Omni Knight. They throw everything they have, but it's not very much damage at all. Faith Beyond still good enough to be able to get off Purification, Heaven the Grace onto Ame, who chases after Abed. They just do not have enough. They, again, committing for Faith Beyond, but they're going to lose heroes off of it while failing to get the kill. Wow, another jump in from Shin-Q. Hook shot after hook shot. Arteezy being engaged, and once again, there goes the Guardian Angel. They just, everybody 5-man on top.
They're all full health. They've killed everyone. Yeah, GG. The whole team bought back. I guess they got Faith Beyond, but he was immediately back into the engagement. Just straight up outclassed, it feels like. But really, a lot to take away from this.